Hello there, my friends, and welcome to another Graviteam Tactics-Mius front battle. Now, the difference in this battle and many of our other ones is we are facing a huge group of Soviets, but unfortunately, we have a very small group of actually infantry defenders, essentially. So we're going to try to put up just the best defense we can. No, that's not what I wanted to do, geez. Do something like this and pretty much try and set up a strong line defense, have all of these guys prepared to fire. Another problem is that we do not have dug-in troops for this battle. So we don't have any trenches, nothing like that. What you see is what you get. Another thing is that the enemy might attack us from this point over here, but it's more than likely that they'll charge us right from the front here. So I am still keeping a nice group of units right there to call in things. Actually, you know what? Here's what we're going to do. We're going to bring these guys over here to the original location of these original guys, put them behind, spread them out just a little bit, and actually we'll grab these two, extend the line just a bit, and as for these guys, they are going to be responsible for holding point 194. Let's hope they can do it. We're going to get started. The Soviets will be advancing from Krasny Polar over here, or is it Krasny Polny? No, Krasny Pahar over there, and as you can see, quite a sort of snowy, well, just a foggy day, a foggy nightmare, as we could call it here, as it's very hard for us to see ahead of us. It's going to be tough to spot the actual Soviets advancing here, so let's hope that our men know what they're doing. But yeah, this looks pretty creepy. A foggy, terrifying morning and a massive group of Soviets advancing. Let's prepare, boys, and not a single trench. Fingers crossed, we can see the enemy trying to bombard our area, guys, here. Heavy bombardment. Part of me is thinking what we should do. We should grab half of the guys here, pull back to a safer zone. So we're going to pull these guys back over here to the actual forest. But you could see, look at that. They also thought we were in the forest and are bombarding that area. So that's exactly where I would have, or they would have expected us to be in the defensive area here. It's also across a pretty open road. But as you can see, we've already got enemies on us. We must fight out in the open here. Thankfully, of course, it's foggy. In this case, the fog may actually help us. Let them have it, boys. We have a true gunfight on our hands here, friends. My goodness, explosions happening all over the damn place. Our men are returning fire, but now we need to make sure that the rest of our men know where the attack is coming from. Let's go ahead. The Soviets are this way, brothers. Aim. Continue to fire. Now, this is a hell of an attack. Through the fog come legions. And not the kind of legions that I'm looking for. My goodness. Well, we can see a bunch of flashes coming from our men. We are returning fire here, but it looks like this secondary line is much better off than the first. And I wonder if we're actually getting any hits. I think our mortars that you can hear plinking up and down are absolutely getting some hits over there, but I'm not sure how many. What about that other group? Should we bring them over? I'm starting to think maybe we should, but as you can see, they've already spotted their own group of enemies. Let's have them go ahead and focus on them. Make sure we're also turned this way. All right, there we go. Some more mortar rounds out. Let's get up close and personal here to our frontline troops, see what they're dealing with. Men, get up and fight! Don't give up now! Holstein over here is still holding out. Holheim, excuse me. Firing away with that rifle. That is an SVT, and the officer himself is firing the SVT. Maybe a Gever, sorry. It might be a Gever, not an SVT. Unless we picked one up off one of the dead Russians. Oh, another nice hit. He is still fighting, man. That's one officer that I can say has cojones, 100%. Most of the officers, when their men are destroyed, get the hell out of there. He is continuing to fight the Soviets. And we're not even sure how many more are left over here in the fog. There could be a ton more. I mean, when we initially saw that group, I'm sure that most of them are still alive out here. They've just taken cover so that we can't spot them as easily. There we go. Yeah, we've got enemies advancing over there too. Let's take a look here. A faraway view. Part of me thinks Ivan definitely doesn't have any tanks because he would have attacked them immediately. So I think I might do one of my crazy moves and attack the enemy. We're already starting to see them over here, but it looks like we already have a pretty good bead on them, with the exception of these troops over here. So I'm going to bring these guys a little bit closer so that they can engage the enemy more readily. Get a move on, men. You'll join the battle soon. It's even hard to see our own men out here. There we go. A few of them running and getting to the fight. We need as many guns on the enemy here as possible. Oh my goodness, they're back with that damn artillery. Alright, Beman here. A lot of hits. Our mortars are doing most of the work out there. Without those mortars, we would be lost. We just can't see a damn thing. So at least if we fire off into the mist, maybe we get lucky. And maybe they get lucky too. Thank goodness that didn't land on top of our men. That was a hell of a hit. Oh. May have killed... No, we're good. There. He's crouching. Alright, so we're getting closer with these guys. And I feel like we're widening up the front a bit, so this might actually help. And of course, we just keep an eye on anybody ahead of us, even these units over here. Hopefully the Soviets will call off the attack. Although again, they're not attacking a fortified position, so they might decide to go through with it. Are you aiming this way, you dogs? Turn around. Get a closer look there at the advancing Soviets that we can see. Of course, these are the ones we can see. A few dead ones, a bunch of dead ones. Look at this, all over the place. But a few of them still over here firing at us. He's just firing with a good old-fashioned Mosin there. That is just a Mosin that he is taking on our entire damn regiment with it. All right, well. You are a so crazy Soviet fighter. We've fought with you guys before. Oh my goodness, look at that, man. Tremendous artillery strikes on our position. We've actually gotten extremely lucky with the enemy arty strikes. By staying out in the open, believe it or not, we avoided some of the worst damage. I think they really assumed that we would have a nice structured line over here, you know, going down, and initially we had that, but now that we move things around a bit, I think we may have confused them. Whether or not it's going to help us on this advance, I don't know. But we have a lot of infantry moving forward here. Just look at all these troops getting up to the front line to take on Ivan. Epic. Just kneeling and firing. Of course, kind of unfortunate, we don't have any tracer rounds for our rifles, which, you know, no army would have, unless it was maybe an automatic assault rifle. But it would be nice to see just how well we're doing in terms of shots on the enemy. Let's get back up there to the front. In fact, let's take a look over there to our side. Yeah, these guys are doing fine. I'll just keep them there the rest of the battle. I'd like to bring them to the front, but yeah, we really can't do that. And it looks like they are breaking through this initial line. They are absolutely breaking through. We are very much surrounded in this battle. Here. Either taken we've taken a few prisoners. What difference does it make? There's still so many Soviets advancing here. And yeah, this looks like a totally restructured line that we've got. I'm just going to go ahead and make sure everybody is aiming towards the actual Soviets. Come on, boys. Very nice. It's like we initially had a front line stretching down this way. We just pretty much switched it over here. And believe it or not, that caused quite a bit of confusion to the advancing Soviets. So let's keep it up, keep on firing. I like to see those tracers. That's what we need to see more of. Just know that we're getting a perfect visual on the enemy. Although, it's not like we haven't taken shots ourselves. You can see quite a lot of Germans here hit or wounded. fact, I just saw one get hit by an actual round. And what's this? Ooh. Traitors. Damn traitors. Some of our own men there on the front line deciding to turn themselves over to Ivan instead of continue to fight. Just unacceptable. Be prepared, boys. We won't accept any prisoners here. And they're so damn close, and so many of them, too. You can see most of the units in these groups are hugging the ground for cover, although we still have some nice machine guns there. See, that's what we need to be able to beat the enemy. We need those machine guns consistently operating. The only way Ivan is going to back off is if he knows we will not leave this area. He might even just know that he's got more than enough men to go ahead and overrun us, and he might not even attempt for a ceasefire. This is one of those battles where if the enemy offered a ceasefire, I would take it very quick, because I can pretty much see what's going to happen here. We have enemies advancing from this side. We can't really see them too well, but you can see two question marks pop up. They're going to be attacking us from the flank for sure, and they're going to keep advancing here in the front. And since we don't have any sort of heavy ordnance, I'm not so sure we're going to be killing as many of them as we anticipate. We have killed a bunch, I'm not going to lie. I mean, there's a bunch of dead Soviets all over the place here, but I would guess that there's plenty more still alive out there. Look at that, even officers. We can't see him, but we know he's here. Oh! Just fired off a shot. Even officers, when they're still in the fight, the enemy is going to keep on pushing. I think they're more afraid of their commissars than they are of us right now. Let's keep these guys in the back, just sort of a rear guard unit. Just keep them looking off into the fog. I know it's hard to see. Oh! Shoot! There we go. It's the kind of forward offensive action we need. Here. Look at that. Plenty more troops we've got visuals on. In fact, that's going to be our target. It would be, I think, a little insane to try and do a counterattack to retake, or to take, point 194. I figure it's probably a better idea for us just to keep our distance and engage from here. Watch out, boys. Get down, get down. There we go. That's what I like to see. We may have just called in some artillery. Look at that. That is a beautiful sight. The shrapnel from that one piece killed the first two guys there. And if we could get continuous blasts like that, that would just be absolutely beautiful. I was kind of thinking of grabbing these guys and pushing them into the woods here. And that's what I'm going to do. In fact, and look at that. Yeah, that's enemy arty. They just dropped a massive, massive bomb right next to our troops here. I'm sure that shook them up a bit, probably killed a few of them. So that's definitely not our artillery. Soviets don't mind hitting their own men as long as they can kill some of us too in the process. Boy's doing you crazy. Even moving to the woods, you can see, is a bit of a task because, again, we're being fired at pretty consistently in this battle. Now, these guys are trying to make it over there to the forest. I think it's the right move. We might even, if we wanted to, we could grab the rest of these guys and move, but we would be under fire the entire time. So I'm going to try to avoid that. wonder if these guys can spot any of the enemy out there. I don't think so. Part of me is thinking we can move forward with the machine guns and mortars here, but we just don't really have much infantry support. So if they get caught out by a single, Soviet infantry unit, they'd probably take them out pretty easily. Oh, that is not the way, you fools. This is the forest here, yeah? That's where you go. Got our two apparently stormtrooper units that continue to push here, deep into enemy territory. And the question is, can they actually affect any change? Because maybe they could start getting some flank attacks on the Germans. Alright, beautiful. Our boys are finally doing the right thing. We've got the troops entering the forest, and there might actually be some Soviets in these woods. I'm not just saying that. We saw them here earlier. So we do want to sort of be aware that that's a possibility, and potentially we get into a gunfight right here. But what I'd like to do is go ahead, grab these guys. We've got a nice group of 4. I would guess 30 or 40 men. Now we can push up over here and try to flank the enemy. I'm just going to push to the edge of the forest. Obviously, not all of our guys can be covered by these woods, but at least we can get a little bit closer and see if we can engage the enemy from here. Oh, was that enemy contact directly ahead of us? It may have been. Be careful, boys. See, Ivan could be anywhere. I don't like it when they get on the road like that. That obviously is a much more open area, but to get into this semi-forest cover, we're going to have to take the road. In fact, if we want to be crazy, we can actually push the rest of our men in here, or since we have these guys covering this area, and I don't expect we'll have many infantry units trying to cross over into this zone anymore, we could try to move forward with some of these guys, like maybe the machine gunners, or the mortars. Yeah, let's do it. Let's just push them over here to the edge. And that way, if we spot any enemies over there, we should have no issue finding them, or firing at them. Ooh. I'm sure everybody is focusing on the same thing. And I think I'm out of command points here. It's been a lot of different orders left and right, so I think the men are a little bit tired of them. Here we go. Advanced squad. About as bad as I thought it would go. Ooh, what's this? Something I did not pay attention to. We have some more, guys. Some more support. I am going to bring them... Oh, look at that. Enemy is already dropping bombs here. I'm going to bring the support here. Enemy is trying to mortar our actual forest position here. So I think they're well aware of our movement there. Kind of Ivan's way of telling us, nice try, but not going to work against us. We are pushing forward there with some more machine guns and mortars, and obviously these can make a big difference in the battle, so I am going to keep on pushing. I believe these are mortars. Our machine gunners, Volk. Let's see where Volk is. Oh no, these must be, so these are actually our machine guns, guys, or additional machine guns for the battle, so I'm definitely getting them forward here. I think more than ever, we just need to hold our position, be as patient as possible. Also go ahead and try to look that way. Let's get a look at our men. They've had a brutal day. I mean, there's no doubt about that. Many Germans down in this fight. Many Soviets down too. This is true no man's land in World War II. Just not a situation you find yourself in too often, but with that early morning fog, it was so easy to make mistakes in initial placement. It sort of worked out for us initially. Now, of course, it's working against us. Now the fog is lifting. The enemy can see us a lot easier. Although I am glad that we got these units over here, because look at this. We are opening fire at the Soviets on this area right here, and I'm getting the feeling that they're going to be sending most of their troops in that direction. There we go. We've got another visual on them from here. Nice! Look at those mortars. Oh! Firing way too close. Come on, we need defensive fire. We need that defensive fire, boys. Fire shots. We need someone to drop a bomb in the mortar. Come on. They're trying to use the mortar, but with the enemy fire, they seem to be a little bit afraid. It's going to take one of these mortars and separate them. So I'm going to put him kind of over here. And moving in any way, look at that, is terrifyingly dangerous right now. Just because of the enemy position. There is always that option, folks, especially now that we have a bunch of infantry units here. There is always that option to carry out a counterattack. I don't think the Soviets would be expecting that. See where those machine guns are. Okay, they're actually getting very close to the front lines. They should be here in no time. You know what? This might be a good time to carry out a counterattack. You can see me fighting with my own inner self here, but I'm going for it. Again, I don't think the enemy would expect this. We're attacking from two different positions, essentially, and the enemy's already bombarding us either way. I say we take the fight to them. See what we can do. And either way, we are getting machine guns into the area to help defend here. So let's see if we can't make a difference. I think the Soviets, suddenly on such a massive attack, seeing suddenly a whole wave of Germans coming at them, will be a bit of a shock. We can dish it out just as much as we can take it. To victory, brothers! That, already getting some beautiful shots on him. Just cut one of them down in a second. Who knows, guys? This may be the ticket. This may be the ticket. We are keeping a few units back. We're not sending everybody forward. We're just sending a good group forward. So if they get taken out, acceptable losses. I know some of the Grognards get annoyed with me with my extremely offensive tactics in this game. But sometimes I really just can't help myself. And, you know, when it works really well. When it doesn't, it fails miserably. So at this point, the enemy's actually asking for a ceasefire. And before they take it back, I'm absolutely going to accept it without a question. Especially since the enemy's got all the artillery here. They're dropping bombs right there on our mortar teams. And obviously, if this charge really comes to fruition fully, I think we're going to lose a lot of soldiers. So thank goodness we're ending here. I wonder what I'm going to name this battle. This is a fascinating battle, but kind of a creepy one. This would have been a perfect battle to release during Halloween, just because of the constant fog up until the very end there, and the realization that, of course, we were right in the middle. Now, if we look at the actual casualties, they were almost identical, actually. 34 dead on our side, 40 dead on the Soviet side, 85 dead on our side, 86 dead on the Soviet side. We kept our original locations. They kept their original locations. It's a draw in, 10 ways till Sunday. That totally makes sense. Yeah, I guess we'll fight again. I hope you guys enjoyed that battle. If you did, make sure to hit that like button and drop a comment down below. And I'm not just saying that because, it's the end of a video. I mean, it really helps the channel when you guys do that. So everybody that hits the like and comments, especially people that do both, I really appreciate that. Moves us up in the YouTube search rankings. And not just that, guys. It lets other people that aren't aware of these kind of games find them on the YouTube search engine. So hit the like button, comment, and of course subscribe if you haven't already. Thank you so much. I'll catch you on the next one.